Hey everybody, Skip Kelly here. Welcome to part 4 of How to Build Your Dreams series. In part 1, we built future memories, so you get to experience what your ideal future would be like in fantastical situations. In part 2, we did the most beautiful question formula, where you were able to pick apart the roadmap towards your ideal future memories. In part 3, we talked about building a one-page plan, bringing some structure, some concreteness to what your goals and visions were, so that you could start to get focuses and priorities and admin tasks in order. This one is a little bit different. We're going to go a little more ethereal here, and it's about your community. So we all know you're the 5 people that you spend the most time around, but in most scenarios, and I know for me, when you're starting to upgrade, you're starting to evolve tremendously in life, you're probably not around the most ideal people, and it's really hard to get around the most ideal people. So what is the solution? And the solution is mentorship, but not necessarily professional mentorship or coaching, because you may not have access to that yet as you're building your goals and your dreams. So when I think about mentorship, I think about consuming at minimum 2 hours per day of high quality community interaction via podcasts, audiobooks, and YouTube, and any other content you can do. But generally speaking, I would suggest long form content. When you consume things on Instagram or TikTok, you'll also be consuming puppy videos and cat videos, and that is not mentorship. Mentorship is deep learning. This is pulling out a notebook, pulling out your notes app or a Google Doc, taking extreme notes, and really having conversations, at least in your head, if not out loud, with hopefully you have one other friend that's interested in all this evolution and growth that you're going through. But realistically, you're taking massive amounts of notes, you're learning a lot, and you're really befriending the different mentors that you might have online. These might be people like Alex Hormozy, Marissa Peer, Vishen Lakhiani, Dave Asprey, Richard Branson, Simon Sinek, Stephen Bartlett. Pick whoever your favorite people are and begin to follow them religiously. Consume everything that they have. If you find favorites, consume it again. If they've got a slew of books like Marissa, get all 7 or 8 books. Begin consuming those books. For me, Wayne Dyer was a big part of my journey. Tim Ferriss was a big part of my journey. Consume everything that they put out. Take notes so that you can eventually get to the point where you can say to yourself, I know exactly what they would say in a given question or a given situation. And then when you get that, you can actually do an exercise I used to call Campfire mentorship. Try this with me real quick. Pick 3 or 4 people you've consumed a lot of, and maybe right now that's not the ideal mentors, but let's say it's one of your parents, maybe you've listened to, or a grandparent that you've really looked up to. So people that you've looked up to, that you appreciate and value their opinion, their feedback. Close your eyes, pretend you're sitting at a campfire at night, take a deep breath. Feel the warmth of that campfire. Picture the logs, everyone sitting in either nice chairs or on a log, and they're all listening to exactly what your problem or your issue is right now. Explain all the context. Obviously, they telepathically understand you because you're in this sort of daydream-like state, and explain the situation you're in, and then ask them, what would they recommend, one at a time? Just ask them in your head, Simon Sinek, what would you say about the current problem that I'm experiencing, or the solution I'm trying to create, depending on where you are? And then just wait for the answer. And if you know these people well enough, if you've consumed enough of their material or had enough conversations, you know exactly what they would say to you. And go ahead and take that response, remember it for now, and then move on to the second person at that campfire. Maybe it's Tim Ferriss. Ask for their response. What would they say? You might be surprised. They might even say things that aren't necessarily a response to your answer, but provoking entirely new thoughts and ideas. And then move on to the third and the fourth, and however many there are. And I've had times where there were 3 or 4 sitting at the campfire, and times where there were 10 sitting at the campfire. And they all had different areas of expertise. Go ahead and open your eyes. You can do this exercise on your own whenever you feel comfortable. But this is the number one way to have mentorship in your life before you can have real in-person mentorship. And, debatably at times, this is actually better than knowing those people. And I can say that because a lot of the people that were at my campfire in the past are my friends that I can call in real life now. But sometimes they're not having the best day, or they don't have the most energy, or they're not the most available. Whereas in the campfire situation, they're always at their best. They always feel great. It's always a relaxing environment, and you'll get whatever you presume to be their best advice when you do this exercise. The second thing I'd say about mentorship is become a mentor. Wherever you are right now, if you're interested in evolution and growth, there are other people that are earlier on the path that you're on right now that need your help. Maybe you didn't get it when you were there, or maybe you did. It's time to pay it forward. It's time to pass it on. So spend at least 2 hours of your week mentoring other people. Now, again, that can be done in a few different ways. That could be in conversation. This could be young people that you meet. And if you're already young, it could be even younger people. This could be in the form of making long-form content. Again, audiobooks, podcasts, YouTube, and also writing. Of course, if you have like a real book, that's incredible. Even better than an audiobook, right? So work on mentoring others, whether that's jotting down all of your ideas so that people can read them someday, or hopefully a mixture of creating some content, writing down your ideas, cataloging them, because the best way to understand things is to teach those things. So spend at least 2 hours of your week teaching. So if you do 2 hours a week of either having mentorship, whether that's professional coaching, professional mentorship, casual friend-based mentorship with people that are idols or have done what you're trying to do or greater, and then you're consuming either books, YouTube, podcasts, audiobooks, and then 2 hours of your week teaching or mentoring or creating that long-form content for other people to have you as a mentor. Those two things in combination will take you very far, very quickly, and it's all about consistency. Whenever you think about implementing new habits, new systems in your life, generally speaking, I say at a minimum, you're looking at 30 days at a time. I would encourage 90 days, and I personally say 52 weeks. When I started doing the long-form content, I said 52 weeks. When I built the podcast last year, I said 52 episodes, 1 per week in a row. That is the barrier to entry for me to start something, and there's a big reason for that. If I'm not so inspired and so motivated to commit to 52 weeks, then I'm probably doing the wrong thing. And so what that helps me do is prioritize and focus on the right things that I'm the most inspired by. So I would challenge you to say, can you at least commit to 30 days? And in a better scenario, can you commit to 90? And in a really amazing scenario, commit to 1 year or beyond. The next part, part 3, is those mentors that you know and love, that you're consuming so much material from. See if you can build something for them to serve them at no cost to them. As an example, I went to Mind Valley University in 2017, and Vishen had been one of those Campfire mentors for me. And so when I went to his program, I decided to vlog that program. And when I did that, it actually went massively, organically viral. And then he brought me into his inner circle and we became friends. And I ended up building so much marketing material. And the great part was, and we're going to talk about this as we get further down this journey in business, I didn't need to make any money from that. I had already set myself up in business, not making an incredible amount of money, but making enough to where I could give and give and give without asking for anything. And that is a very powerful place to be when you actually do meet a mentor, assuming you want to become part of their friend circle, of their network, because you no longer need anything from them. And people that tend to be seen as mentors in the world at those high levels always have people around them that want things from them. So if you can just give, you are so much more likely to develop and establish a beautiful relationship with that person or their friend circle. It may not be that person that you actually want to be friends with. We all know that once you meet your mentor, sometimes the whole idea of them gets ruined because they're not who you thought they were. And that can be true a lot of the time. It wasn't with Vishen. He's a great person. But start to see how you can add value to your mentors as you learn from them and as you progress in your own life. One of my favorite teachers from high school, my drumline director, said, "Don't forget the little people when you hit it big." And that is so true. Keep it going. And the very last part of mentorship. As you're doing all of these how to build your dreams things, you are doing your future memories, you're asking the most beautiful question, you're deconstructing, you're road mapping for your one-page plan a year in advance, you're developing these great mentorships where you've got your campfire and you're mentoring others, you're constantly teaching and refining what it is you're learning, getting more and more concise and focused. Make sure to unfuck your life. As you do all of these things, your physical, mental, and emotional health might take a toll. Don't let that happen to you. Make your physical, mental, and emotional health a huge priority. I always say the number one priority in life, mental and emotional health, fulfillment, making sure you're creating a beautiful life for yourself. You know that wheel of life that everybody talks about, or life book, or all the different ways that successful entrepreneurs say that becoming really successful can really mess up your harmony or the balance of things in your life? It's very true. Don't let that be you. balance your life, keep prioritizing creating a beautiful life for yourself. And then number 2, your physical health. You've got to make that a habit. If you aren't making your physical health a priority, it will make itself a priority at some point. So make sure that you're always moving. Get yourself an Apple Watch or an Oura Ring or whatever you need to motivate yourself. Get yourself mentors in the health and wellness space. Get yourself mentors in the mental health and emotional space. Get yourself mentors in business. Get yourself mentors in love and relationships, in community and networking. Balance out your Campfire mentorship circle, and you'll have a much more beautiful life. I'll see you in the next video.